Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is YAHMAD. Today we're going to be looking at Paper 2, Document Production from the Information and Communication Technology course code 04117, and we're going to be looking at the May-June 2018 paper, version 22. So Paper 2 is a 2-hour and 30-minute long practical paper. So let's scroll down. So you're going to perform some clerical tasks for 2-hour training. So the first task is the evidence document. We're now going to open up the file used for the evidence. So it's going to be J228 evidence.rtf. So to find this file, you need to go to your source folder, double click the file to open up. So I've got my evidence document already opened up. The next thing we need to do is make sure your name, center number and candidate number appears on every page of this document. So we can include this information into the header. So if I go back to my evidence document, to insert the header, you click on Insert, Header, and always go with the option which gives you 3 columns. Okay, so we'll go for this option here. So I'm going to include my name. The next thing we need to include is the center number, so I'll use 5678, and then the candidate number, which I'll use 1, 2, 3, 4. So for the center number, 5678. For the candidate number, I'll use 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we can close the header. So once you've included the information to the header, this information will now appear on every single page. So the next step is to save this as a word process document into your work area as J228 evidence, followed by your candidate number. So for example, I will include 1, 2, 3, 4 at the end of the file name. So let me just copy this. So make sure when you are saving, you do select Word document. You can click here to check where you're saving the evidence document. So yep, I want to save it into source files. And I'm going to include my candidate number. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, double check you are saving as a Word document, not as an RTF. So let's press save, press OK. Okay, so that's that part done. You will need to place screenshots and answers to questions into this evidence document as we complete the question paper. So now let's move on to the main task. So task 2, document. You're going to edit a fact sheet. The company uses a corporate house style for all their documents. Paragraph styles should be created and applied as instructed. So using a suitable software package, open a file J228 apparent.rtf. So again, you can go to your source folder, you can find a location for the file, double click to open. So I've got the file already open. So let's have a look. So we've got 2 pages of information so far. Right, the page is set up to A4, landscape orientation with 2 cm margins. Do not make any changes to the settings, so we leave the settings as they are. We're going to save this document into your work area with a file name fact sheet. Again, make sure it's saved in the format of the software you're using, so we need to save it as a Word document file. So let me just highlight this. File, save it as a Word document file. Change your file name as fact sheet. Again, double check to see if you're saving it into the source files. So yes, I am. It's Word document. Then we can press save. Okay, so you can see the file name on the top here, fact sheet. Okay, so evidence 1. Place in your evidence document a screenshot to show the file has been saved. Make sure there's evidence of the file type. So what we can do, we can go to the source folder. We can see here, this is the name of the file, so Microsoft Word document. You will see the database file because I did do the database before the Word document. So obviously when you're doing it for the first time, you might not see the database or the extract file. So let me take a print screen of this, making sure you can see the file type. So Microsoft Word document. So let me press print screen. Then I'll go to my evidence document and I'll paste in the print screen. As mentioned in other videos, if you want to use a snipping tool, that's up to you. Just whatever you feel more comfortable using. going to include the folder name. Increase the size of the print screen so you can show where the file's been saved, and also you can see the file fact sheet and it's saved as a Microsoft Word document. So let me press save. Okay, that's that part done. Now we need to place some information into the header. So your name, center number and candidate number left aligned. So again, when we insert in a header, click on insert header, always select the option which gives you 3 columns. So on the left hand side it's going to be your name, then your center number and then your candidate number. Center number 5, 6, 7, 8 and then the candidate number 1, 2, 3, 4. Automated page numbers right aligned. So we can click on this option now and go to page number, and we want to insert a page number in the current position. So when we go to the next page, you'll see this should change to 2. Yep, you can see that's changed to 2, but my name, center number and candidate numbers has stayed the same, which is what we want. We can delete this option here. We don't need to insert anything into the middle, and then we can close the header and footer. Now we need to insert content into the footer. So what we want to import or to insert is the automated file name with the file path right aligned. So to insert the footer, again the same option, select the option which gives you 3 columns, click on the right hand side, and what we want to place in the footer on the right hand side is the automated file name and a file path. Okay, so what we can do, we can make sure you click the right part of the footer, go to quick parts, field, and you want to select file name, and also you want to add the file path. So we can delete these options here on the center and left alignment. So we got the file name and a file path. It doesn't matter if it's too long, it's still aligned to the right hand side, so that should be fine. Let me check the question paper. Is there anything else? So make sure that all the alignments match the page margins. So what that means is basically you can see this has been aligned with the page margins. So the header and footer is not outside here. So let's check the header as well. So the header falls within the margins of the page as well as the page number. No other text is included in the header and footer, so that's done. And header and footers are displayed on all pages. So what we can do before we move on is we can close the header and footer. We can go to File, Print, and we can check the print preview. So we can see my name, center number, candidate number, page number, and then we've got the file name with the file path right aligned. So if you go to the second page, you'll see the same information appears on every page. So let's save the changes. Okay, and let's go down to the next question. Okay, so for question 3, we're going to create and store the following styles, basing each on the default paragraph style. Okay, so in total, we're going to be creating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different styles. So to create the styles, what we need to do first of all, if you go to your Word document, if you click on this little tab here, or icon, it'll open up this window, and then we can create new styles by clicking on this option here to create a new style. So the first style we're going to create is a TA-title style. Make sure you enter this information exactly as it appears on the question paper, including the capital letters and including any dashes. Copy. So let's change the name. Okay, we're going to be using a sans serif font. So if you're not sure the difference between the sans serif and serif fonts, you can go to my website, you click on paper 2, and you can open up the document production overview. So on this overview, in a moment we'll see the difference between the sans serif and serif fonts. So whilst this is loading up, let's see what else we need to do for this font. So the font size will be 30, the alignment will be center aligned, enhancements will include bold and italic, the line spacing will be single. Okay, so it's almost loaded up, it's taken a while. Right, here we go. This is the overview. So we're going to be looking at two types of font styles. So font styles can be placed into two categories, sans serif or serif. So sans serif fonts have straight edges, as you can see here. This is an example, Arial, of a sans serif font. The edges are straight, whereas serif fonts have little ticks at the edges of each letter. So Times New Roman is an example of a serif font, and you can see at the end of each letter there's a slight little tick. So when they do ask you to go for a sans serif font, go for Arial. If they ask you to go for a serif font, go for Times New Roman as default font values. So remember, when you are creating text styles, you need to click on a little icon here at the bottom of Change Styles. Then you need to click on the option to create a new style. So you need to make sure you include a style name, and the formatting can be applied here. So here we've got the alignment, and then here we've got the line spacing. What you can also do is edit existing styles by right-clicking on the style and selecting Modify as well. Okay, so let me go through some of these things here. So here, the first thing we're going to be looking at is alignment. So obviously, if you select this option, it's going to left align the text. This option will center align the text, and this option here will right align the text. If you don't see justification, what you can do is you can click on Format Paragraph and then select Justify. So Justified will make sure the text is straight on both sides. Line spacing. So single line spacing will mean there's no spaces in between the lines. If you select this option here, 1.5 line spacing, you'll see there's some space between the lines, and then double line spacing, the spacing between the lines has increased. And if you want to include spacing after, you can click on Format, Paragraph, and then you can include a spacing after or the spacing before as well. Sometimes you may be asked to indent on particular text style. Okay, so if you do need to find this PowerPoint or this overview, if you go to my website, if you click on Paper 2 link, and then you can click on Document Production, and it'll open up the overview presentation. Right, so let's go back to my question. So we've got the title. We're going to go for sans serif font. So by default, let's go with Arial. Okay. The font size will be 30 points. So we can change that to 30. I'll just type it in. And you can see the example down here. So Arial 30. The alignment will be center. The enhancements will be bold and italic. So we can click on bold and italic. Single line spacing, and there's no space before or no space after. So that's the first style completed. And check the preview. If you're happy, you can press OK. You can see the style now appears here and also appears here. So now let's create the next style. So we're going to create the subtitle style, so TA-subtitle. So again, we can click on the plus to create a new style, include the name. Okay, the first thing you'll notice, the formatting from the previous style is still on, so it may be the case we have to turn these on or leave them on. So we'll have a look. Let's see what we need to do. So the font style will be sans serif. So again, we can go with Arial, same as the previous font, so we can keep that. The font size will be 18, so we can reduce 30 to 18. So you can see the example of the previous reduced the file size, or not the file size, the font size. The alignment will be on the left hand side, and the enhancement will be underlined. So let's change the alignment to the left hand side. So you can see the text will be aligned to left. There is no bold, there's no italic, but we need to make sure the text is underlined. Single line spacing, and again there's no spacing before or after. So again, make sure the single line spacing option has been selected. Press OK. So it doesn't really matter at this point if the text here is changing, so we can keep on going. So again, we want to create a new style. We've completed the second one now. Now we're going to be creating a TA-subhead style. So again, we can click on the new style icon. Write in the name, so TA-subhead, exactly as it appears on the question paper. Again, it's going to be sans serif, so we can stick with Arial, and the font size again will be the same, so we can stick with Arial and we can keep the font size the same. This time the alignment will be center, so we can change the alignment to center. Yep, it's changed in the preview. And the enhancement will be bold and italic, so we need to take off the underline and we need to include bold and italic again. Single line spacing, and this time the spacing after will be 9 points. So what we can do, we can click on Format, Paragraph, and the space after the line will be 9 points. So what this means is, if I press OK, there will be an automatic space after the line which would be 9 points. So you can see here as well the information has been added, so 9 points after. We can press OK. So now that's the third style created. So let's mark this one off. Now we're going to be creating the TA body style. So this will be applied for the main text. So again, we can click on New Style. Just type the name. This time we're going to be using a serif font. So by default we can go with Times New Roman. Okay, and you can see that slight little ticks at the end of each letter. The size of the font will be 12 and the alignment will be justified. So let's change the size to 12. And if you click here, this will make sure that formatting is justified, so the alignment is justified. That means straight on both sides. If you don't see the justified option here, you can always click on Format, Paragraph, and select Justified here as well. Okay. No enhancements, so what we need to do is make sure we take off the bold and the italic. Single line spacing, and this time we're going to have 6 points after. So basically, after each paragraph, we're going to have an automatic spacing. So if you go to Format, Paragraph, and instead of 9, we're going to change this to 6. Press OK. And now that's the fourth style that we've created. So let's mark this one off. Now we're going to create the TA bullet style. So 2 more styles to create. So again, we can click on the plus to create a new style. Let's type the name in. So we're going to be going with sans serif again, so we can choose Arial as the default. Okay. The font size will be 14. So as you can see, the previous made the text a little bit bigger. We're going to include bullets indented 2 centimeters from the left. So what we can do is, if we go to Format, sometimes you have to look at the different options. If you go to Format, Paragraph, and we want to indent, let me double check, I think it's 2 centimeters. Yep, 2 centimeters from the left. So if I type in 2, then press OK, and you can see we've indented 2 centimeters from the left. And we also need to make sure the enhancement or the text or the bullet points will be italic. So we can select italic. And the bullet points has a tick shaped bullet. So what we can do is click on Format. Again, look at the options. I think it's going to be a numbering. Then if we go to bullets, and we can select the tick option. So you can see the bullet has been aligned. Okay. You can see the alignment is slightly changed. So if I go back to Format, Paragraph, it's gone to 2.63 centimeters. I'm going to change this back to 2 centimeters. So it's moved back slightly. So just double check. Yep, it's 2 centimeters. Single line spacing, and there's no space before or no space after. So you can see there's a slight space after. So we need to remove that. So if we go to Paragraph, let's get rid of the space that we included for the previous style. So there's no spacing after, and now we can press OK. And the final style we're going to create is a style which will be used for the table. So it's going to be TA-table style. So let me copy this. Again, let's include the name. So we're going for serif font. So again, we can choose Times New Roman. The size will be 12. So we can select Times New Roman, select 12 as a font size. left alignment, so we can select left alignment. Okay, enhancements none, single line spacing. So what we need to do, obviously you can see we've still left on the tick from the previous style, so what we need to do is go to format, paragraph. We need to remove anything we left on from the previous style, so the indentation, we don't have any spacing, and we also need to remove the tick as well. So if we go to numbering, bullets, select none. So as you can see, it's on the left hand side. Is there any enhancements? No, there isn't, so we can remove the enhancements. So before I finish, let me double check. So we should have a serif font, so that should be Times New Roman. The font size should be 12. So Times New Roman, the font size is 12. The alignment is left. Yep, it's on the left hand side. Single line spacing, and it should be no spacing after or no spacing before. So I'm happy with that. So I've just finished creating my 6 styles. Okay, now let's have a look at the evidence. So for evidence 2, take a screenshot to show the style settings have been defined for the TA subhead paragraph style. So it's going to be for this one here. Place this into your evidence document. Okay, so we need to basically show evidence we've applied or we've created this style. So if you go back to Word, if you right click on subhead, we can click modify. We need to basically print screen this. If I go to format paragraph, we can also include this in a print screen as well to show we've got 9-point spacing after. So if I press print screen, that's okay. So for the second print screen, we're basically showing the style has been created for the subhead. So again, remove the parts which we don't need, and then we can increase the size of the print screen. So we can see the subhead style. Let me double check. So it should be sans serif 18 and center aligned. So Arial, center aligned, font size is 18. The enhancements should be bold and italics. Yep, so you can see the enhancement is bold and italic, and then we got a 9-point space after the font style. Okay, so let me save the changes. Okay, so I've completed the evidence. Let me just highlight this off. So now question 4, display these custom style names as a list in a style manager or organizer. Provide a screenshot evidence that these styles have been created, named and saved. So what we need to do next is we basically need to show this window. So to show this window, we can click here again on this icon, and we basically need to take a print screen to show that we've created each of the styles identified in a question paper. So let me print screen this. So for evidence 3, let's paste, and again crop off the part which you don't need, and again always increase the size so it's fairly obvious what you are trying to show. So let me just move this title to the next page. Okay, so this is evidence I've created all of the styles shown in the question paper. So let's press save. Evidence 3 is now done. Okay, so question 5, at the start of the document, enter the title, get ahead with an apprenticeship. So when you are entering the title, make sure you also include the capital letters. So to get to the start of the document, let's click before produce, let's press enter. Let's go up again, and we basically need to insert the title. So obviously you would have to write it in the exam paper. I'm just going to copy and paste. Has to be exactly like it is shown here in the question paper. Apply the TA title style to this text. So let's highlight the text now. We want to apply the TA title. I prefer having this window open, it's just easier to select the styles. So let me double check the house style. So the font style should be Arial, the text should be center aligned, the font size should be 30, enhancements of bold and italic, and there's no spacing after. So as you can see, I'm happy with this. We can keep going forward. So you should be always checking back to the house style to make sure the font style appears as it should. Okay, so we're done question number 5 now. Enter your name immediately after the subtitle produced by. So let me enter my name. So produced by. And then what we need to do is apply the TA subtitle style to this text. Okay. So I'm going to highlight the text and I'm going to select TA subtitle. Okay, so again, let me double check. It should be left aligned, sans serif, underline. Just let me double check. I want to see if I left a bold on. Nope, I'm happy with that. Okay, so we can keep going. Now it says apply the TA body style to the rest of the document. So you need to highlight all of the text and click on TA body, and then double check to see if all of the text has been styles have been applied. Sometimes it may be a case you have to click on clear all and then reapply the TA body style in case part or one paragraph, for example, the style looks slightly different. So if that is the case, clear and reapply the body style if one paragraph is not or one paragraph looks slightly different to the others. Right, so that's that part done. So for question 8, change the page layout, so the subheading structure. So let me first find this particular subheading, so structure. And all following text is displayed in 2 equally spaced columns with 2 cm spacing between the columns. So basically what we need to do is to format from this point onwards into 2 columns. The mistake people make is to highlight all of the text, including the titles. You need to make sure you check to see where the columns are starting from. So the columns are starting from the subheading structure and all of the following text. So let me highlight structure and the rest of the text. I can get rid of this now. Actually, let's leave that for now. To make columns, if you go to layout, columns, always select the option which gives you more columns. You want to select 2 columns and the spacing in between is going to be 2 centimeters. So we can change that to 2 cm. So make sure you got to cm. Okay, so you can see after this text, we've formatted the rest of the text to be displayed in 2 columns with a 2 centimeter spacing between the columns. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so for question 9, we want to apply the TA bullet style to the list of items from intermediate apprenticeship. So let me first of all find this information. So what we can do, we can go to home, find, and you can type in the text that you're looking to find. So it's going to be from this point to levels 6 and 7. So it's going to be basically, we need to apply the bullet point styles to this text here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, I'm going to select, highlight the text and click on the bullet style which we want to apply. Okay, and let me double check the house style to make sure it's right. So we should have a sans serif font. Font size should be 14. So yep, we've got Arial is 14. The enhancement is italic, and we should have the tick shaped bullet, which we do. It seems like we're 2 centimeters in from the left hand side. Okay, and we've got no spacing after, so that looks right to me, so I'm happy with that. I'm just going to save the changes and let's keep going. Okay, so question 9 done. Question 10, we have to identify the 5 subheadings in a document and apply the TA subhead style to each one. So we should have 5 subheadings. So structure is 1. So TA subhead, that's the first one. This looks like the second one, engineering and apprenticeships. This looks like the next one, employability skills. Traineeships, and I think that's the fourth one. Let me just see. Yep, and higher apprenticeships. Okay, so we should have 5 subheadings. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, I'm happy with that. Okay, so question 11. Using the data in the file j228adverts.csv, create a vertical bar chart to show the number of advertisements only for higher apprenticeships for the years 2013 to 2016. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is open up the file. So the file which we need to use is this one here. So if you go to your source data, it's this one here, so you can double click. So I've got the file open already, so it's this file here. And the key parts of this question is we need to create a vertical bar chart, okay, and it's got to show the number of advertisements only for the higher apprenticeships for the years 2013 to 2016. So let me just highlight the key parts. So we're going to create a vertical bar chart to show the number of advertisements for only higher apprenticeships for the years 2013 to 2016. So let me have a look now. So 2013 all the way to 2016. Now it's quite easy to make a mistake when making a bar chart. What we can do is just highlight the years as well, and you see what will happen. So if we go to here, this is vertical, this is obviously horizontal. We've got 2 bars, okay, so it's included the years. So that would be a mistake. What you should do is highlight higher apprenticeships and highlight the numbers, or we can just highlight the numbers, doesn't really matter. Let me just highlight the whole row, and we go to insert and select the vertical bar chart option. And then what we can do, obviously 1, 2, 3, 4 refers to these years here. So we can right click on the graph and we can select the data. So the horizontal values, so if you click on edit and then you can highlight the years, will refer to each of the bars, and then you can press OK. So 2013 should be below 1500, which it is, and then 2016 is just below 3500, which it is. Okay, so that's that part done. Label a chart the title Growth in Degree Level Apprenticeships. Okay, so let me copy that. Please pay special attention if there is capital letters or particular spellings. It has to be exactly as it appears on the question paper. So I'm lucky I can copy and paste. Obviously you guys would have to type in this information because you won't be given the exam paper electronically. So let me type that in. Right, so that's that part done. Format the value axis scale to display. So let me just first of all highlight that this is done. So we have to format the axes. I always forget this step, but if you apply your common sense, so if you want to format the axes, let's just right click on it. So click on it, right click, and let's select the option that formats the axes. Then you've got lots of different options here. So what do we need to do? A maximum value of 3600. So we can change this option to 3600. Okay, and increments of 600. You'll notice we're going up in 500, so you've got 100 going all the way to 600. So the units or the majors we've got to change from 500 to 600. So we can change that here as well. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Let me just highlight I've done this. And then we need to label the category axis with the title year. So that's going to be this horizontal axis here. So what we can do, if you click on the graph, let's get rid of this now. We can either go to design, quick layouts, and select the option here to give us axes, or we can click on the plus icon here. We can include axis titles as well. We don't want this one here, so I can get rid of this one here for the vertical axis. This one here, we need to label it as year. And again, if there's a capital Y, make sure you include the capital Y. And paste that in. Do not display a value axis title or legend. So we don't want to show a title for the values, and we don't want to show a legend. So if you're not sure what the legend is, the legend would be this option here. We don't want to show that. Obviously, we don't want to show this axis here. So we've got the title. We selected the right values. So it's from higher apprenticeships from 2013 to 2016. Okay, so that's the graph done. This is a part where people will make mistakes on the graphs, especially formatting the axes. So if this is your weakness, make sure you are revising this particular part. So we're going to insert a chart after the paragraph ending seen in the following graph. So I'm going to be in a moment copy and pasting this, but let me first of all find where we're going to be placing this graph. So again, we can use, if you go to home, find, if we type in that information, let's get rid of this now. So we want to basically paste the graph after this line. So insert a chart after the paragraph ending seen in the following graph. Make sure the chart fits within a column and all labels are fully displayed. So now to insert, we can simply copy and we can paste this graph. Okay, let me just Control Z again. When you are pasting, actually what you can do, you can right click and you can paste. So keep the source formatting. Make sure the graph fits within the columns. Obviously if the graph is like this, it's not fitting within the columns. So let me press Control Z. So it doesn't matter, the graph has gone to the next page, it's okay for now. Let me just save the changes. Okay, and let me highlight this part done. Question 16. So we want to import this picture. So PNG is a format for a picture. So we're going to import the J228 sign picture and place it below the subtitle produced by. So let's go to here. We want to place it below here. So this is where we need to click. Okay, so to insert a picture, you need to click on Insert, Picture, and then double check to see, yep, it's J228 sign. So we can select this picture here. Okay, so now let's apply the formatting, which will be the next question. So let's highlight this. So format the image so it is resized. Okay, it's going to be 4 centimeters wide with the aspect ratio maintained. So we can go to the top up here and we can change this to 4 cm right. So it's best to do it up here so we will maintain the aspect ratio. What you don't want to be doing is squashing it like this. So let me press Ctrl Z to undo. Okay, it is aligned to left margin and the top of the paragraph starting apprenticeship is a real job, which is sentence here. Whoops. And the text wraps around the image. So what we need to do is we need to click on a picture. We can have it select this icon here. So we want to wrap the text tight around the first paragraph. So if I just move this down slightly, so we need to make sure this produced by comes on the left again. You can also double click on the picture and go to format, and you can also select wrap text and tight it again. So the picture has to be aligned to the top of the paragraph on the left hand side. Okay, so you can notice, you'll see now the graph, where's my graph gone, has moved down even more. Okay, so it's fine. So let me just press save. So save this document with the same file name which we did just now. Right, so at this point here, you're not asked to print, because what we're going to be doing, or what I've done previously, is in databases we have to make an extract. Okay, so if I go down to question 23, we have to produce an extract from all of the data. So in databases, if I go to my source folder, so I did do the databases first. If I open up this file here, and this is the extract. So the extract was basically, I had to create a query. What I had to do was basically select these particular fields. Okay, so vacancy ID, vacancy, and wage in this particular order. We had to make sure the vacancy includes engineer. Okay, so I had to basically, if I go to the search criteria, you can see I had to put star around engineer. The level is intermediate, so I had to write intermediate for the level. But because we did not want to display the level, we did not tick this option here to display that particular field, but we still can search by that field. And the wage is 150 or more. So for the wage, we've done greater than or equal to 150. So basically, I created a query, selected the fields. So you can watch this part in a database video if you want. Okay. And then we have to save the extract. So to save the extract, what you have to do is basically click on right click, extract, export, and then we extracted it as an RTF file. So if I go down back to the word question, so export the extract created in step 23, save the exported file into your work area, and then place this into your evidence document. So for evidence 9, if I go to my evidence document, so like I mentioned before, I've done the database before, so you can see the evidence is already complete for the database. In evidence 9, you can see the extract has been saved as an RTF file. So place in the evidence document a screenshot to show the exported file saved into your work area. Make sure there's evidence of the file type. Okay, so if I keep going, so we're now back to document production. Okay, so if you were doing this exam paper, obviously you do your Word section, you save it, then you complete the database section, and then you come back to the Word section. So I'm going to finish off the Word section now, since I've made the extract. So let me first of all open up the extract. This is the extract here. Let's read the question. So import the extract you saved in step 24 into your fact sheet document as a table after the paragraph which ends vacancies available are. So what we want to do is go to Word. Let me find out where I'm meant to import this. So if we go to find again, so we're going to insert a table here, okay, the extract. So to insert it is simply, we have to basically copy and paste, okay. So let me highlight, before I copy and paste, I'm just going to adjust the column sizes because I need to make sure it's going to fit within my columns. Oops. We don't want the text to wrap. If you make a mistake, just press Ctrl Z. Right. So I've changed the column sizes. Let me copy and paste this now. Right click, copy. Let's go to here. And when you paste in, select this second option here. And let me see the requirements for the table. So the table fits within a column. So what we can do is we can actually increase the size of the table. Yep, so it fits within a column. The extract does not contain a title. So I've got no extract here, it's just the fields. All fields and their labels are fully visible. Yep. No text is wrapped. So this is a common mistake. People will do this. Some students will do this. They won't adjust the column sizes, and as you can see, the text has come onto the second line. So to avoid this, just basically resize the columns and showing the text is not wrapping. Okay, let's go back. The TA table style is applied to the extract. So we can highlight the table. If you click on this option again, TA table has been applied. Again, now we've got some text wrap, so what we're going to have to do is just slightly change the size of the columns. Yep, that's been done. There's a 6-point space after the table. So after the table, what we can do, we can just click here and just let me double click and change the size to 6 after the table. So 6, and it should be no spacing as well, so it moves. No, that's fine. 6 is fine. Okay. Okay, so now question 26 is complete. Let me highlight this. There's no mention of borders, so I'm going to leave this table as it is. So there's no mention of borders, we can leave it as it is. You can check the house style to make sure the text has been properly formatted. So let's just go back up to the house style. So the text style should be serif, and the format of size should be 12 and left align. So let me double check. Yeah, so the size of the font is 12, the alignment is left, and the font we've used is serif. Okay, so we've come almost to the end of this question. Okay, so question 27, spell check and proofread a document. So what you can do is we can go to review and we can check the spelling. Yep, so check document. So there's one spelling mistake. So vacancy ID, we can keep it as it is because it's the name of the field. Or if you want to check the spelling, you can go through and you can check to see if there's any red lines under any particular words. So make sure tables, charts and lists are not split over 2 columns or 2 pages. So I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so we can have a look at this document before we print. So this table is fine, it fits onto 1 column, it's not going over 2 columns. And this graph is also fine, it stays within 1 column. Okay. There's no widows or orphans, there's no blank pages. So I'm just double checking, yeah, I'm happy with this. House style specification has been followed, so I've been checking as I've been going along. The spacing between all items is consistent. So again, we can save a document, and now we're ready to print the document. So we can press save as fact sheet. So remember, before you print, check if the header and the footer details are shown on the page. You can go to file and print preview, and you can check all of the pages. So again, make sure the spacing is consistent, the font styles have been applied appropriately. Okay, the tables or the charts fits within the columns. So as you can see here, there's a slight problem with the graph there. Let me just double check my graph. Okay, so that should be okay now. Yeah, that would be fine. It's okay, to be honest. Right, so now we've come to the end of the document production part, so we can print this document. So to print, you just send it to a printer here. Okay, so make sure when you receive your document, you double check for any mistakes. If there is any mistakes, put it to one side, and then you can always reprint the document. Okay, so before we finish document production, let's look at the final question in this part. So many jobs are now being replaced by IT systems. So jobs are basically being lost due to ICT systems. Evaluate in your own words the effect of IT on potential employment for these apprentices. So basically what we need to say, has there been any positive impact because of ICT, or has there been a negative impact? We can look at both sides of the argument. So in evidence 11, type your evaluation in your own words into the evidence document using no more than 100 words. So we're basically evaluating many jobs have been replaced by IT systems. Evaluate the effects of IT on potential employment for these apprentices. So I've copied the information from the mark scheme, so let's have a look. Before we do look at the answer, there's only 4 marks available, so you only need to write 4 different things down. So the types of things you can write for this answer is You could say fewer jobs available as they're being taken over by robots, especially in the manufacturing industry, especially the more labor intensive work. So imagine cars are being built, robots are now being used to build these cars to replace human beings. However, jobs have been created, so there has been an increase in jobs in writing software programs, increase in jobs relating to the maintenance of robots and IT equipment, increase in jobs relating to web designers, advertising, increase in computer engineers, project managers, system analysis, network managers, for example. So jobs have been lost because now we have robots doing particular jobs. However, new jobs have also been created, so there are new opportunities for these apprentices. So we've come to the end of document production. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share this content with your friends. Again, thank you for your time.